Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, in this meditation practice, the meditation technique we practice also important, and at the same time there are some other things that we have to put our attention, because just sitting and closing our eyes and sit practicing is not enough. This sitting practice is kind of like a brush up your technique, and at the same time there are a lot of other things that you have to be aware little by little. So there is a sutta. Today I'm going to talk about that sutta. That sutta called Meghiya Sutta. The Meghiya is a monk. So as you know, the Buddha had one of the attendant monk, Venerable Ananda. So before Venerable Ananda, there were some other few monks used to be close to Buddha and helped as attendant monk. So Venerable Meghiya was one of the Buddha's attendant monk before Venerable Ananda. So this Venerable Meghiya used to go Pindapata, so look for food. And on the way to village, and there was a mango forest. And when he passed by that mango forest, mostly he felt like so comfortable that forest. So one day he came to Buddha and asked, Venerable Sir, I want to go and practice myself meditation in that mango forest. So the Buddha said, Venerable Meghiya, that wait little bit. This is not the right time to go, because there are no other monks, and sometimes I need some help also. So somehow Venerable Meghiya was not happy about that, and he was so hurried to go. Why? Because he felt so comfortable with that forest, and then he wanna go and enjoy that peace there. So then again he came to Buddha and asked, Venerable Sir, may I go to that forest and practice? And then the Buddha said, it is better you wait a little bit. But still then the Venerable Meghiya was a little bit disappointed and start to say that you already attained to Buddhahood. So it is our responsibility. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to practice ourselves and gain some wisdom and attain to enlightenment before the time pass. So he start to make argument with the Buddha. And from his side that makes sense. But still the Buddha said, Meghiya, this is not the time. He didn't listen to the Buddha. And the third time, again he came and asked, Venerable Sir, may I go and practice myself in that mango forest? More than that, the practicing meditation, what was in his mind, he attached to being in that mango forest. So sometimes that is one of the important point that you have to understand. You have to recognize what is major when you go into an action. So when the minor things come as a major, your result going to become different. And sometimes you want to go for a hike, you want to go for a mountain. But if you really want to practice meditation, then you have to look that wherever you go, the place, it's matter, but it is not that much important sometimes when you really want to practice meditation. So then you have to look very carefully what you really want. See this Venerable Megya, that he was attached to the forest in his subconscious mind, and now he want to go and visit the, he want to be in the forest, but he come to Buddha and he claim he want to practice meditation. See, it's totally different thing. This is happen in our life also. So, but somehow after the third time, Buddha said, oh, okay, then you go. So Venerable Megya was so happy and he went to the forest and start to practice meditation. So what happened? He sat down and start to focus, and then he start to get weird kind of thoughts. All the emotions start to wake up, and sensual pleasures start to wake up. And his mind was so busy. Now he cannot concentrate, and his tranquility state totally disturbed. And then Venerable Megya start to think, I never had this kind of experience in my life, and even intensely I didn't have any kind of thoughts in my mind to regarding this kind of emotions. So what is happening to me? Why this happened to me? And he got so disturbed, not from outside, from his own inside. So he tried his best, but it didn't work. Then what happened? He went back to the Buddha. And the Buddha, and so the Venerable Megya come, and the Buddha didn't say anything. So that's the very one of the good quality of the teacher. See that how the Buddha had the compassion, and the Buddha had the 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 understanding regarding the the monks and the people around. How about us? If somebody come to you and ask something, if you say no, and if that person somehow start to do it, then after that, when that person come, what we say? Oh, I told you. We start to demand and command and argue. So we compare with the that. So but Buddha never open that kind of conversation. So then remember, in your life, in day-to-day life, these little qualities, you have to catch and nourish your life with these little qualities. That is very important. Even concentrating, I'll give you a technique. It's a concentrating, and 5 minute, 10 minute, it's forget about that. No, 1 second of concentration to something, develop. It will help for you, long term. So as example, you're going to drink cup of tea. If you are not really focused to one single moment, what will happen? Your mind go here and there, you start to watch TV, and at the same time you take and start to check your phone, and maybe you texting somebody, you maybe go Facebook. See, at the same time you drinking your cup of tea, or maybe you eating. See, that that we ourselves make our life busy. So then remember, whatever you do, maybe you can do actions, but at the same time remember, so when you drink cup of tea, bring the attention to that 1 second, and then when you watch your phone, and bring the attention to that purposely, and detach from the the drinking tea. Or if you watch the TV, you In that 1 second, when you drink your cup of tea or when you eat, you bring the attention to that and you detach from the TV, watching TV or talking to somebody or doing something, you detach. 1 second, you completely get into the action. And once you do, then you go there. So it's not like a 10 minute, 20 minute, you keep focusing that. It is different. So try it. That is something that you really, really focusing to something. So somehow that when the Venerable Megya come, so the Buddha saw that he's coming. And the Buddha had the conversation and with him. And in that conversation, Buddha gave that the most important 5 principles that in day-to-day life that you have to practice when you develop your meditation. And at the same time, it is just not only meditation. Your conventional, development of your conventional and your spiritual life depend on the principles. So that's why those are important. So when it come to that conversation, the what happened, this Venerable Megya, one of his previous life, he was a king. And in that kingdom, that his palace was exactly in that mango forest. So that's why suddenly he felt so comfortable with that forest. So what happened? He went there and started to practice meditation, and that all his mental formation start to vomit. As a king, how he used to live in that place. And sometimes he get mad, start to command to kill people, and at the same times, dancing and having sensual pleasure. So this everything start to disturb him, and that is the reason that he got disturbed. So in our life also sometimes we mostly get disturbed not from outside, we mostly get disturbed from our inside. But there are methods, little by little, little by little, you can get out of it. So in that Megya Sutta, the the advice that Buddha gave to Venerable Megya, out of 5, the first one, you have to have good friends. See, the Buddha was a very good friend. It's called Kalyana Mitra. But the Venerable Megya didn't understand that. That's why when the Buddha said no, he didn't accept it. He was thinking Buddha is kind of like, jealous about him. And it's kind of like an enemy. Why? Because when he want to do something, we think that as good people, if somebody say, okay, do it, do it. If somebody say, no, don't do it. And sometimes we say, it's kind of like we reject that people. So then in your life, remember, you have to have Kalyana Mitra, the good friends. So when it comes to good friend, how you can be a good friend and how you can find a good friend. If anybody try to increase your greed, hatred, and the delusion, that is the measurement that you can find out that person good or bad. It doesn't matter your husband, wife, children, friends and family members, brothers, sisters, or the parents. It doesn't matter monks or the gurus or the rishis or anybody. If anybody try to increase your greed, hatred, and the delusion, that means ignorance. Stay away and get out of that people as soon as possible. If you can do that. Another thing is then yourself, and try to not to increase others' greed, hatred, and the delusion. And whenever situation come, whenever the conversation happens, always try to develop in their heart loving kindness, generosity, and compassion. Maybe around you there are people you cannot escape from them, you cannot stay away from them. Sometimes you are legally bound to, culturally bound to them. Sometimes naturally you are bound to them. So, but you know they are greedy. So then what you have to do? And somehow help them to get out of that. That is the best that you can do to others. Get out of them from greed, hatred, and the delusion. As parents for your children, you can provide everything in this world, working so hard and you wishing them the good life. But still, if in their heart, if you nourish the greed, hatred, and the delusion, they're going to have a big trouble in their journey. So then as parents, whatever you do at the same time, try to develop the loving kindness, generosity, and the wisdom in their heart. That is very important. And as children, the whatever the parents that have done for us, we cannot pay back. They are saying, if you keep your mother and father in your both shoulders, and you feeding them, you take care of them, and you nourishing them, and walk yourself and holding them in your shoulder, and until that your legs already disappeared to your hip level, but still you cannot pay back. Even you have that much big physical task to pay back to them, still you cannot pay back what they have done to you as a giving, this life, that much bigger, higher gift that they gave to us. You cannot pay back, you cannot equalize through any material things with your parents. But as children, how you can pay back to your parents? Get out of them, help them to get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So that is very, as when they get old, especially after, when you know that after this old, when they get old, little by little, little by little, when they come to 70, 80, 90, then one of the major thing come to their life is greediness. It's deeply they hold into, not that much, little things. And they not that much, not anger sometimes, but mostly ignorance. So as children, if you help them slowly, you have to be a little bit wise and to slowly put them to the right track themselves, to purify and get out of this greed, hatred, and the delusion. So if you wise yourself to take your parents get out of the greed, hatred, and the delusion, remember, you earning uh, merits that cannot compare to any other meritorious activities. And another thing is, you are kind of like a paying back that they gave the life to you, and you are anymore not a debtor to your parents. So then in the society, in your environment, as a husband and wife, you do a lot of things for other person. And but at the same time, if you, somehow, if you have the greater love for them, for your partner. But if you know that your husband or wife greedy, and they hold the anger, that anger doesn't mean, you just get angry because somebody made mistake. No, the The deeper hold the anger and looking for the revenge, you know, and they dream to revenge and they go to sleep, they wake up with the anger. So that kind of anger, rather than nourishing it, and you are the one who can slowly take it out, purify. So as a husband and wife, and according to the the Buddhist culture and the Buddhist concept, because Buddha not giving that much value to this marriage life, you know, gender, that kind of thing. But through the culture, it developed that our main purpose getting married and you become a good partner for other person to nourish their spiritual life. Even you raise children and you become parents and you become grandparents, that all your life, through this all the activities, you have to nourish your spiritual development and each other, and whatever you do, and you both you have to take care each other to uplift your spiritual life. So that is the important thing. So how you can uplift yourself and how you can help or your husband or the wife to develop their life. So getting out of them from greed, hatred, and the delusion. So as parent for the children also the same. And maybe you are the best friend for somebody. That is not that doesn't mean you help or whatever other person doing. Or you that doesn't mean that you push other person wherever that person wanna go. No. If you are the best friend, then always remember that whenever you understand other person having the greed, hatred, and the delusion, take that person out of that and try to increase the loving kindness, generosity, and the wisdom in their heart, little by little, little by little, and you earning a lot of merits out of that, and for you it become a profitable skill. So that is one of the important thing in this spiritual life, even your conventional life, even your spiritual life. And as you know, there are big shots in this society. They screwed up their whole life because of the people around them. And at the same time, there are a lot of people became successful not because of just by themselves, because they have the good network with the people. And especially when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, in your spiritual life, if you look for your spiritual development or your nibbana or even your conventional life success, remember the very first quality that you have to have, the good friendship. How you can select the good friend? That whoever help you to develop loving kindness, compassion, generosity, and wisdom, not the greed, hatred, or the delusion. So then how you can be the good friend? Help them, help others. Maybe if you see somebody next to you, husband, wife, parents, children, or brothers, sisters, whoever, your partner, if you see, because you are the one who can see. Other people don't know because you are the one who next to that person. You are the one who see that other person who is living inside. So then you know, if you recognize slowly, be wise. And even you no need to mention, you no need to bring it to table and talk about it. And slowly, little by little, when we are at temple, as even as a boy, when you come to temple, sometimes when somebody come, when the beggar come to temple asking something, the high priest tell us, and he have ability to give from his hand. No, he give us and tell, okay, from your hand you give. So sometimes we think, oh, giving, you know, oh, we can do it. And sometimes we command to others to do it, but from our hand we don't do. So remember, just developing a heart and thinking about it not going to work, because when it come to action, it is completely different. You have to perform it as an action to master the action. So that's why you have to learn to give. It is not by just think about it. So like that, when raise children and telling about the giving, and sometimes you tell it is important, but you have to teach them by action, allow them to do themselves and mastering that. And that way, and little by little, it's going to help for them. There is a case study happened in Sri Lanka. It was in newspaper. It's like a 1989, like that. What happened? There was a child, only one child in the family, and the parents were so loving with this child and used to take care. So every day they pack the child, the lunch box, and when the child go to school, and the mother used to tell, don't give to anybody, just you eat this. So that because she didn't think about that much, and she had the love regarding the child. And then later he got the sister, and then her also the same, telling. Now the both children learn, and they studied very well and come to a big place in the society, and they start to do exactly the same mother told. What? Don't give to anybody. See, from the childhood they learn it, and the mother did with the love. And finally what happened? Even they didn't give anything to the mother also. Even as a brother and sister, they didn't share anything. They didn't give anything to the mother. And the mother died, poorly. And the children didn't help. And finally the mother understood. And the mother told, I made the mistake. What? Because I taught my children, don't give when you eat. So see what happened. It happened. So like that, then when your husband is greedy, your wife is greedy, so when you want to give something, let them give it to their hand and tell, okay, you give. Even you see homeless person, $1, you know, you just tell other person, you can give. You just give to other person and give it from your hand. So that is change. Otherwise, preaching, just telling things, no, no. By you have to do the action. So like that, try to be a kalyana mitra. So try to be the good and the best friend. So that way, and the second quality that you have to develop, being disciplined. Being disciplined, and according to yourself, you are the one who know what is the field that you have to work yourself to become better. So then put some extra effort for that, and try to build up a good, deeper, the character inside. And don't allow others to point out their fingers to you and blame. Don't have any shame regarding your own actions. So the sin mean, the karma or the sin mean what? That we say, this is karma, this is karma. What is sin? Oh, in the Western world, it's, oh, don't do, this is sin. Oh, this is karma. Remember this. When your own action come against you, that is the sin. Your own action come against you. So that is the bad karma. your own actions come against you. So the precepts mean, sila means you do action that not allow it to come against you, not allow it to bounce back against you. And then your path becomes so clear. So then start to be aware yourself, why you make yourself your journey slow or difficult, because your own actions come against you. What will happen? You block your way, not anybody else. So then be mindful regarding your actions, and sometimes you fail, it is okay, but you still have the purpose. And as much as you can, you no need to be kind of like a, the military person, and it's not like that. You become comfortable, and you become reasonable, and you have to be comfortable with that comfort and with that reasons, that you have to at the same time brush up your discipline. So that is the the second quality that you have to develop. And the third one is it's called dasa kata. It's a different another list. That dasa kata means the conversation. When you have the conversation with others, always remember to make it profitable. If it is not profitable, don't have that conversation. So make it profitable. So that is the important thing. And the fourth one is the effort, the virya, the effort that you have to develop to uplift and increase your all the good qualities. And you have to put the effort yourself to get out of unnecessary, that the habitual patterns that we have within ourselves. So you have to have the effort to clean you, because always we naturally go to actions nowadays. As you know, you at home most of time, or you're doing something. When you have a relaxed moment, we cannot even just sit little bit without doing anything. We want to eat something, we want to do something, we somehow our this current start to take us somewhere. So you have to have the effort little bit to settle down. So that is important thing. And the other one is the panya. The panya is the wisdom, that it's called the udyatta gamini patipada. So the panya means that you have to somehow come to a point to understand the impermanent, unsatisfactory nature and selflessness within yourself, within your own mind, within your own capacity, and experience it before you die. So, in this Megya Sutta, those are the 5 qualities that Buddha mentioned to practice, to develop your spiritual life. So, if you develop these 5 qualities, what will happen? Deeply, it is start to uproot your mental formations. That means sanskara from the history, whatever you have done. And it is in your blueprint, it is there in your blood. And when the time come, maybe it activate. So this is a good time for you to purify and use your education, use your understanding, use your wisdom, purify everything, and start to lay out a good profitable blueprint and good profitable lifestyle yourself. And that will help for you in the sansaric journey wherever you go. And if you meet it again and again, it will nourish you rather than pulling you down from this path. So that is your choice. So then remember, in the work yourself and start with little things that around you. And at the same time, as I mentioned always, learn to share your life with others, and you get nourished from you, with your wisdom. At the same time, somehow try to share that wisdom and transfer that wisdom to others little by little, especially the people around you. And then, end of the day, you can go to sleep with the happy, comfortable mind. So, with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cha ammihi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.